You know that voice, right? Siri. It's been with us for over a decade. But get ready, because something massive is about to change. Apple, a company that famously builds everything themselves, is doing a complete 180 on its AI strategy. And it all comes down to Siri.
And when we say a brain transplant, yeah, we mean it. This isn't just some minor update. We're talking about a total overhaul of how Siri thinks, how it understands you, and how it talks back. This is probably the biggest change to Siri ever. So that begs a question, right? If Apple's not building this new brain, who is? Where's it coming from? And let me tell you, the answer is, well, it's a shocker. You ready for this? The donor is Google. Yes, that Google. Apple is partnering with its #1 rival in a massive multi-year deal to let Google's Gemini AI become the brains behind the new Siri. I mean, wow. This is a truly shocking team-up between two of the biggest companies on the planet. Okay, so why? That's the real question here, isn't it? Why would Apple, the company that basically started this whole virtual assistant thing, need to borrow an AI from its biggest competitor? To get that, we got to take a little trip back in time.
I mean, think back to 2011. When Siri first came out, it felt like science fiction. It was a genuine game changer. Steve Jobs thought it was the future. But then not much happened. While everyone else was sprinting ahead with these incredible new AIs, Siri just kind of stalled. It went from being the leader to a laggard. And a big reason for that was Apple's own DNA. That laser focus on hardware and privacy just didn't mix well with the kind of massive data AI needs to learn.
And look, this isn't just me saying it. Apple pretty much admitted it themselves. In a super rare moment of honesty, they basically said, yeah, we weren't ready. They knew they were falling behind in the AI race, and Siri was Exhibit A. So what do? If you can't build it fast enough, you borrow it. Apple made the call to bring in Google's heavy hitter, Gemini, to be the new engine for Siri. So what does that actually look like? How's this all going to work? Okay, so the new Siri works in 3 basic steps. First, it plans. It figures out what you're actually asking for. Then, it goes out and finds all the knowledge, all the info it needs. And finally, it summarizes all that stuff into a real answer for you. And here's the kicker. Google's Gemini is doing the heavy lifting for at least 2 of those steps, the knowledge and the summarization part. That's huge. This chart really spells it out, doesn't it? The old Siri, it just reacted. You'd ask something simple, and it spit back a web link. But the new Siri? This is a whole different beast. It gets context, it can handle complicated, multi-part questions, and it gives you real answers, not just links. Okay, let's put this into a real-world example. Before, you'd say, hey Siri, remind me to pick up groceries. And you'd get a reminder. That's it. Now, Siri's going to understand what you mean. It might actually create a shopping list for you and then suggest a couple of stores nearby that have what you need. That's the kind of leap we're talking about here. It's a game changer.
So you can imagine a deal between these two giants. It's not just about them. It has huge implications for all of us who use their stuff. And that brings up some really, really big questions.
And here it is, the elephant in the room. Privacy. Apple's entire brand, their whole identity is built on protecting your data. So how on earth can they team up with Google, a company that lives on data, and still keep that promise?
Well, Apple has a pretty brilliant way of explaining it. It's an awesome analogy, actually. They say that Google provides the brain, but Apple builds the skull. They're creating this super secure fortress around Google's AI to make sure it plays by Apple's rules.
So how does this skull actually work? It's pretty clever. Gemini is going to run inside Apple's own secure system, something they call private cloud compute. Just imagine a digital lockbox that Apple built. Apple controls everything, the servers, the encryption, who gets in and out. They're adamant that your personal data never, ever flows to Google. It stays inside the skull. When you step back and look at the big picture, this is a fascinating move. For Apple, it's kind of like they're admitting, okay, we missed the boat on this one. This deal buys them a ton of time to get their own AI act together. But for Google, this is a massive win. It puts their AI, Gemini, onto billions of iPhones and iPads. It's a huge boost to their reputation in the big AI battle with companies like OpenAI. And of course, let's not forget about the money. We're talking about incredible sums here. To put it in perspective, back in 2022, Google supposedly paid Apple something like $20 billion just to be the default search engine in Safari. This new AI partnership is just the next big chapter in their very, very profitable relationship.
So, where does this all leave us? What's next? I mean, Apple has a fix for right now, a really powerful one, but it definitely makes you wonder about their long-term game plan.
And really, that's what it all boils down to. Siri is getting way, way smarter. Finally. But that intelligence is borrowed, its own loan from their biggest rival. And the most important words in that sentence are, at least for now. So that leaves us with one huge final question. Is this Apple throwing in the towel and admitting defeat in the AI race? Or is this just a brilliant chess move? Are they just buying time so they can come back and change the game all over again, but on their own terms? What do you think? I guess we'll have to wait and see.